Hello friends. This video on light part 1 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Topics to be covered in this lesson are introduction, light travels in straight path, reflection of light, lateral inversion, spherical mirrors wherein we will talk about concave mirrors and convex mirrors, lens, again concave lens and convex lens, dispersion of light. So light, a very simple word which enables us to see things around us. Now how are we able to see the objects which are present around us? Think of your living room. You are able to see the table, the chairs, the bulbs, the fan, the television, the clock. So you are able to see all of them very clearly. So, do you know what is helping you to see these things? If you don't know, what you do is just switch off the light of your room, especially at night. Will you be able to see the things around you? Of course not. So this shows that light plays a very important role in order to see things. So light is something which enables us to see. And that's so very vital. Seeing things is quite important. Right? So light helps us to see. So now the question is, what do we see? How is light so important? So if you see, we see the beautiful scenery around us, we are able to read a book, we are able to walk, we are able to swim, we are able to enjoy looking at other animals, other creatures, and all of these are possible because of the presence of light. Now, I do not say that light is the only thing which is required in order to see. There are other things as well. For example, we need our eyes. So eyes should be functioning well in order to be able to see. So light is another important part which is required in order to see things. But light is one of the most crucial things. So if there is no light, we will not be able to see. Now, when you think of light, what are the different types of light that comes to your mind? So one primary thing that comes to your mind is the sunlight, because that's the ultimate source of energy for all life forms. So everybody needs sunlight. In fact, if there is no sunlight, the plants would not survive, because the plants would not be able to, prepare their food. So they undergo photosynthesis, and for that they need sunlight. So sunlight is something which is very, very important for all life forms. So that is one light we can think of. We can think of the light from a bulb. You can also think of the light from a candle or a diya. You can also think of the traffic lights. And when you compare each of these lights, do you think all of them are similar? The sunlight is very much different from the traffic light. So the traffic light is also light, but its look and feel and appearance is very much different from sunlight. Again, if you compare the light from a torch and the light from a bulb, do you think both of them are exactly similar? Not really. Again, they are also different from each other. So there are various sources of light. So various objects are there which can produce light, and then again this light enables us to see. That's why you would have seen that whenever there is a power cut in your house and you want to, say, locate a candle, so what do? You switch on a torch. So that torch is a source of light, so it produces some light, and that light helps you to see and search for the candle. Correct? So these are the various types of lights which we see around us. Not only this, if you also think of a lighthouse, which is called a lighthouse because it provides light in middle of the ocean. So at night time especially, it is very much important, because when the ship are traveling amidst such huge ocean, so they are not able to locate what is there in their front. So the lighthouses actually help to guide them, and from there also we can see a type of light being produced. You talk about the laser light. So that is another interesting light, and we will be talking about laser light every now and then when we talk about the various phenomena of light. So laser light is that light which produces one single beam of light. Now when you switch on the torch, the light which is produced by this torch, it is like a scattered form of light. But when you talk about the laser light, you will actually see light traveling in just one straight line. So all the light thing is like concentrated at one point. So that's the speciality of laser light. In fact, if you want, you can have a look at laser light. It is very easily available in the market. So when you talk about light, you can actually feel the importance of light in this way. Like during the daytime, you have the sun, and the sun is a source of light, and it produces huge amount of light, and because of which the days are like kind of brighter. But when it comes to night, there is no sun. So there is no sunlight, but you have the moon. Now moon also gives us some light, correct? So the light which is being produced, which is not actually produced by the moon, but whatever light we are getting due to the presence of moon, so that helps us to see at least little bit of things. But of course the visibility of things is not that great at night as it is in the daytime. So you see, lights can be of different types, lights can be of different intensity. Some lights can be like of very high intensity and they can enlighten a very big hall, whereas some other light can be of very low intensity and not enough even for a small section of a room. So that ways it depends upon the source of light, and it also depends upon the type of light that is being produced. So when we talk about light, we always talk about vision, because we say that light helps us to see. So light gives us vision, but it is not light alone. So there is a package which altogether helps us to see objects around us. So of course the first thing is light, the second thing is eyes, and the third thing is brain. So it is not only light which is needed, but there are certain parts of our body which need to be functioning the right way in order to see. So one important thing is our eyes, the second is our brain. So basically inside our eyes we have lenses which helps in forming images of various objects, and that's how we are able to see. And brain helps us to interpret what we saw. For example, when we see a book, how do we know that we are seeing a book? So eyes will only help us to form an image of the book, but what is it? That interpretation is basically done by the brain, and there are nerves which connects eyes to the brain, so that the signals can be sent from eyes to brain, and again the response can be brought back from brain to the eyes. So these are the three important things which helps or which gives us vision. So now in case if somebody has got good functional eyes and brain, but there is no light in the room, the person will not be able to see anything that is there inside the room. Now similarly, if light is there, but let's say that a person is visually impaired, maybe because of some problem either with his eyes or something, so in that case also the image formation will not happen, and therefore the person will not be able to see. So that ways you can say that light is a very crucial thing which is needed in order to see objects around us. So now the question is, the objects which we see around us, are we able to see all the objects that exist on this earth, or there are some specific type of objects which we can see? Now basically there are two types of objects, there are two categories of objects that we are able to see. So it is not that we can see everything in presence of light. So basically there are two categories of objects. So one is luminous objects and the other one is illuminated objects. So these are the two categories of objects which can be seen. Now you might say that okay, just now you told that if light is present we can see everything. So now why are we again talking about only two categories of objects that are seen? Now these two categories are also related to light. So luminous objects are those objects which are able to produce their own light. For example, the sun. So the sun is able to produce its own light, and because of that we are able to see the sun. And the second category of objects are those which do not produce their own light. For example, the chairs, the tables, the books, pens, pencils, everything around you, they are all illuminated objects. So they are basically lightened up by some other source. So now that source of light could be the tube light inside the room, the source of light could be sunlight, but there is some other source of light because of which those objects are illuminated, and that is why we are able to see it. So you see, all the objects will either fall in the luminous category or illuminated category, and that is why we are able to see them all. So these illuminated objects, they are capable of reflecting light to our eyes coming from the luminous object. So basically the light is coming from the source, that is from luminous objects, but that light falls on these illuminated objects. They get reflected from the illuminated objects and reach our eye, and that's how we are able to see the illuminated objects. So whenever you look at the house, trees, grounds, lakes, everything around you, they are all examples of illuminated objects which are being illuminated by the light from the sun. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more educational videos with a better experience. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for latest updates. Thank you once again.